doesn't kill you, makes you stronger. Stand a little taller. Doesn't mean I'm lonely when I'm alone.
It's a great song. It just would be better if it was true. It would be better if it was true. So I need your help. I want to know how many of you, now I don't want to out anyone or anything, but how many of you in your family, in your neighborhood, among your friends, know someone who lost a family member through a violent act? If you would just raise your hand so people can get an idea. Okay. And unfortunately, there's more of us in this group than there used to be. How about an automobile accident? You know, okay, all right. See the people in the back there, I want to make sure you're getting in on this. How about somebody that had cancer or another very difficult disease? Whoa. I'm not trying to be a downer here, but what I'm trying to say is loss is common. Loss is everywhere, and if you weren't able to raise your hand this time, hang on, you will be able to, I'm sure. It's just guaranteed. It's just a guaranteed thing about life. So I'm very happy to be here to celebrate Social Work Month and to say that I think social workers, I've been in social work about, around social workers almost half a century, and I would say that one of the most difficult things about social work is nobody knows what we do. Nobody knows what we do. And this happened to me recently. I was with my sisters, and we were looking for an assisted living situation, which, by the way, there's another loss you can have where you lose your independence or, So we're at this facility, and the guy's very charming, and he said, you're a social worker? My mom was a social worker, right at this very facility. I said, oh, really? He said, yeah, but we don't call them social workers anymore. I said, you don't? He said, no. He said, it denotes poverty. So we call them resource coordinators. He said, but who are we kidding? Most of these people are poor. I have brought the performing arts into social work because I believe that a lot of times we get further if we have all of our faculties and all of the sides of our brain, not just the right brain, not just the left brain, but both sides of our brain. So I'll be kind of demonstrating some of that to you today. So I'm going to give you some stories that I think are data with a soul to illustrate the principles. The principles that I want to talk about, you also probably have heard of. The word resilient. The word resilient. Sometimes we don't, some things, if we're not clear what we mean, we don't mean anything. So I want to just go through what I think we mean. So the first one of these is really from engineering. Now, engineers, when they talk about something being resilient, they mean if you take this object and you pull and push and stretch and it returns to its original shape, it's resilient. And I agree with this definition. May 17th, I was in my dance class. I'm moving sideways. The floor is sticky. My feet stay here, and I keep going, right on my shoulder. I had a very different summer than I was planning on having. But I am very happy that my shoulder is almost back to the way it was. And if it goes back, the doctor made no promises at all. I think he was looking at my age when he said that, but I don't know, lady, if it's going to go or not. But if it goes back, I'm perfectly happy. But there's another one that we use in social work, and that would be that we become stronger having gone through what we've gone through. Whatever that challenge is, we would say that person is resilient. And for all of those hands that were up and all those people that have experienced those losses in their families or friends, not everyone does that. Not everyone does. So I'm here to give you some tips early on before you have big losses so you can find ways to practice, because the good news is that resilience can be taught and practiced. So in our family, we ended up having two experiences of having support or not having support from the larger community. So in the case of AIDS, of course, when my son was diagnosed, he went to the AIDS medicine or AIDS outreach center. They worked with people who had an AIDS diagnosis. So they said to him, if you want to keep your job, do not tell anyone, even your best friend, about your diagnosis. We have lawyers to try to get your job back, but you don't really want that. You really just want to stay in your job. So don't tell anyone. Well, social workers know that we're all only as sick as our secrets, so telling us to keep a secret is not a good idea. But we understood why it was. Fortunately, we had a lot of social worker friends, and they know how to keep secrets in terms of not telling everybody, not blabbing to everybody. So we had support personally. But the notion of the culture, because at that time, some of you are too young to remember that, to know that, but everybody was so afraid of it. It was just like the Ebola thing when, oh my God, everybody's all scared, and there's this big stigma. Okay, so fast forward to 2004, and we get to 2004. I mean, the town is painted pink. Everybody's got pink outfits. Everybody's running or raising money for the cure. You can't get a box of cereal that doesn't have one of these on it. So we haven't cured breast cancer yet, but we have definitely taken away the stigma. So here's what I think it is. So we have this belief in our brains. This goes back to mindset, I guess, a little bit. But so we think that here's the good stuff, right? Here's the good stuff, good feelings, good, wonderful. Here's the icky stuff. No, that's not good, painful, oh dear, oh dear. And so we want to hang out here, and we want to just not even go there. Do not even go there. But that's not the way it is. So you got the good, and you got the others, not so, what my husband calls the big suck. Here it is, and this is the way it is. This is actually the way it is. And now, you have both. My niece is at Starbucks. She's crying. It's the morning of her wedding. My nephew says, "Are you sad? It's your wedding. Are you sad?" Get a grip. Of course she is, because her grandmother she's realizing her grandmother who died 6 months earlier is not going to be there. So the wedding is wonderful, and it is a reminder that she has a sorrow of someone who's not there. It's just the way it is. I'm Irish, I'm admitting it, and we Irish, our first knee-jerk reaction to anything is anger, and I know it's not ladylike at all, not even a little. So when my daughter gets diagnosed with breast cancer, and she's had 5 years of telling the doctor something was wrong, they've been taking pictures and nothing is showing up. And when it shows up, I am so mad I cannot speak. Okay, so here's what I do, because I'm supposed to be a grown-up, right? So I go, in the morning, I get in my shower, and I begin with a song. A little temper tantrum song, I would call it. What good can come from this? What good, and the flower in the shower's coming out, what good can come from this? And then I dry myself off, and I get ready, and I act like a relatively reasonable person for the rest of the day. But every morning it's my ritual. So I'm in an improv troupe. We go to Australia, and we have to take our own stories, and we have to make stuff up about our own stories. So I say to Cynthia, I have to sing this song. I know I'm not really a good singer, and I'm really nervous about doing that, but I just have to, because I don't know, I just have to. Okay, she says. So she gets some musicians, like real musicians that know how to play, and then she gets some people that are going to move to my song, and then I start making my song. What good can come from this? What good? And then the song starts to change a little bit, and it goes, good can come from this. Good can come from this. Good can come from this. Good will come from this. And it does. So here they all are. And I even have a way for you to remember them. So right where you are, let me show you. So, okay. The first thing, remember, we talked about is mindset. So do something like this so that you can get a sense. I mean, I'm telling you, if you do this, you'll remember it. Mindset, okay? Next one, give and get help. Then emotional regulation is here. Little, like, emotional regulate. Honoring and savoring. Honoring and savoring. And the last one is move forward. I have one more thing I would like to share with you. This is my favorite cartoon, and I really think that this is what all of that is. So here it is. I couldn't find it, so I'm going to do it. Okay, so the first block, it says underneath it, life is worth living. And the figure in the cartoon is that skinny modern dancer with the bare feet and the ponytail. Okay, picture that. And so here she is. Next one. Life is not worth living. And now she's... Next one. Next one. Final one. I dance to project both answers. Thank you all so much. Thank you.
I really enjoyed it. It was just full of energy and full of great stories about how to approach life, especially in the face of grief and suffering, and just how to get through things. It was just really inspirational, and a lot of things that I can take and really apply to my own life and my own ministry and my own relationships.